America's Most Wanted is the most successful show in television history at catching America's most dangerous fugitives.
Tonight, his luck runs out.
More than 1,100 suspects captured because of your tips. Now, we are back. And we need your help again to bust the most ruthless fugitives on the run today. We're using incredible new crime-fighting technology and social media to connect us at lightning speeds. All night, we'll be sharing new information about fugitives on the loose right now, maybe living right next door to you. First, Tamera Williams, accused of murdering her loving boyfriend.
We hope to find her wherever she is to face what she's done.
Next, Larry Chism, a drug dealer who made 2 violent prison escapes, reportedly robbed a bank and hasn't been heard from since.
I thought they were going to kill me.
And Chris Burns, a greedy, desperate financial advisor who police say stole millions, then vanished.
He took everything. He's ruined their future.
Have you seen this man? Tonight, you're our best shot at catching these dangerous fugitives. This is America's Most Wanted.
Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Vargas, and this is America's Most Wanted. We are excited to be with you tonight with a whole new lineup of dangerous fugitives that we need your tips to find. We've captured 1,186 fugitives since America's Most Wanted premiered in 1988, all because of you. And tonight we want that number to grow. After last week's premiere and the tips we received from you, we're confident it will. Keep them coming, because there's no time to waste. Even the smallest tips could help. We also saw your reactions on social media, like this tweet. My mom and dad watched AMW back in the day, and now I'm joining the legacy by watching it for the first time in 2021. Happy to hear a new generation is watching. We have new high-tech crime-fighting tools to help us identify and retrace our suspects' steps, like our life-size AMW criminal avatars featuring age progression technology. We also have our team of expert profilers and investigators, the FBI, U.S. Marshals, all monitoring your tips. But most importantly, we'll hear from the people affected by these crimes, the victims, some of whom are with us in the studio tonight. It's the victims that motivate me to do what I do and to continue the mission set by our original host, John Walsh. We're going to get them justice, and we're going to do it with your help. Remember, you are the most important tool we have. You are our eyes and ears on the ground. All right, let's get started. Our first case, Tamera Williams. In 2018, her boyfriend of 6 months went missing, and days later, his remains were found scattered on the side of an Ohio interstate. But by the time police had enough evidence to arrest her, Tamera Williams was long gone. Maybe you can help us find her tonight.
Cuz Dave just got here. You all right, baby? That's Cuz right there, man. You know what I'm saying?
My brother David was loving. He was my best friend.
Why you play so much?
David was a jokester. He always had us laughing.
Get him. That was real cute.
David was a great father. His son, DJ, was David's life.
David worked overtime to make sure DJ had everything to succeed both on and off the field.
His everyday life was amazing. But everything changed in March of 2018. David and Tamera knew each other since high school and reacquainted through a mutual friend. She would be laughing in your face, smiling, but it was always something about her that did not sit right with me. I knew she wasn't gonna be good for my brother. Tammy was obsessive. It wasn't obvious to everyone, but it was obvious to me. She wanted David all to herself.
Tamera and David weren't together long, just a few months before they were moving in together, and then it wasn't too long after that that the relationship seemed to unravel. We learned that Tamera Williams was quite territorial when it came to David. She was very into this relationship, maybe more into this relationship than David was. If she couldn't have David, nobody could.
Tammy had David's phone cloned and would send text messages to other females pretending to be David to see what he was doing.
David and DJ's mom were not together. When he wasn't at his mom's, he was at his father's apartment. DJ receives this very strange text from his father that he's not feeling well and DJ should not come over. If David and his father went a day without talking, that would be unusual. A text message saying, don't come, very strange.
DJ decided to go to his apartment to check on his dad. He saw Tamera coming out of the apartment with garbage bags.
Dad! The first thing DJ notices when he enters the apartment is his dad's clothes strewn all over the bed, which is unusual because he knew his dad was neat and tidy.
He also noticed there were cleaning supplies left out in his bathroom. When Tamera gets back, DJ asked her where his dad was. Tammy said he wasn't feeling well, he was out taking a walk.
DJ goes back to his mom's, texts his dad to check on him, and he gets a text back that says, I'm sick, my throat hurts, I can't talk.
DJ told me the next day. That made me concerned. I decided to check David's apartment, so I called my husband and he said, I'll meet you there. When we got to the apartment, the door was not locked. I started to freak out. I called my dad to let him know what was going on.
When I walked into David's bedroom, I noticed that the bed was unmade and the bed had been moved. Tasia looked under the bed. She found empty peroxide and the big red stain. Across the bed, I saw the bullet hole in the bottom corner of the door. I told everybody, don't touch anything, everybody out of the apartment. I realized from my training as a military policeman, this was a crime scene.
No one has seen the 39-year-old since Saturday, the same day his son, David Carter Jr., stopped by his dad's place.
His girlfriend was there, but I didn't see him there.
My brother was missing, and Tammy did not come to help us look for David, which was strange. She was always with my brother.
Everyone was wondering what happened to David Carter.
If you were in Melvindale, Michigan, or Metro Detroit and may have seen Tamera Williams or anything suspicious relating to David Carter's disappearance in the fall of 2018, please contact us right now. Even the smallest tips could help. Former prosecutor and legal analyst Yodit Tewolde is here. And Yodit, we actually have some new photographic evidence about Tamera Williams that we can break tonight.
Yes, so with the help of U.S. Marshals, our investigators were able to grab this image here, the last suspected sighting of Tamera Williams in a fish market in the Bronx just 6 months ago.
6 months ago,
Yeah.
Quite recent.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a huge break in the case because this is the first time we've gotten a photo of Tamera since David's murder.
All right, based on that photograph, as well as the many other photographs of Tamera, we've managed to put together our AMW 3D criminal avatar of Tamera. Tell us what we're looking at here.
So we're looking at a woman who's 42 years old, about 5'5", and weighs 190 pounds. But the most distinct feature, Elizabeth, is this huge tattoo of roses on her left arm that goes all the way up to her shoulders.
That's quite large and quite colorful, hard to miss.
Yep. Large tattoo, but she has several smaller ones, one on her right foot, back, and one on her thighs.
We also know from our profilers that Tamera Williams changed up her appearance quite a bit and did it quite easily.
She did the switch up. She liked to wear her hair in different styles, colors. As you can see here, she's got the short, dark brown pixie cut, then the, long blondish locks. Then she's wearing it curly, straight. So she's able to do the switch up, and, that makes it harder for her to be recognized as well.
We have these 4 pictures. There are many, many more. Tamera Williams liked to take photos of herself.
She did. What we know about Tamera is that she liked to be out there. She liked to be seen. She was social. She loves to post selfies, almost one every single day. This photo here was actually the last one she posted, September 27, 2018, just a few days, Elizabeth, before authorities believed that David died.
You're a prosecutor, former prosecutor, spent many hours in the courtroom. How rare is this for a woman to commit a murder like this?
You know, it's really rare. I mean, data shows us that most homicides, up to 90%, are committed by males, right? Against other males. So it's really rare that a woman would want to commit murder.
All right, Yodit, thanks. If you've been in the Bronx or in New York City in the last few months and Tamera Williams looks familiar, contact us right away at 1-8333-AMW-TIPS or amwtips.com. Throughout the show, we have crime alerts from all over the country, and we need you at home to help identify and capture these suspected criminals who have all been caught on camera. This crime alert is so unusual, investigators say they've never seen anything like it before. Detectives say this pregnant woman walked into this Fife, Washington subway shop. She wasn't there for a sandwich. She was there to rob the restaurant. She told the employees that she was from the corporate office and needed the store's cash because another location had been robbed. She then pretended to call headquarters to approve it.
Hi. Yeah, I just got here.
Do you recognize her voice? When the employees began to get suspicious, she told them she had a gun and rushed out the front door to a getaway car. Here's another look at her. Investigators say she was wearing a gray jacket, black yoga pants, sneakers, and was pregnant. This happened in January, so she will still be pregnant or may even have a baby by now. If you recognize her out in public and have information about this woman, send us your tips at 1-833-3-AMW-TIPS or at our website, amwtips.com.
Next, police are about to discover the gruesome details of David Carter's murder. Tamera Williams is nowhere to be found, but now an AMW exclusive. A new sighting. Could this photo lead us right to her? And later, this acclaimed law student running a secret drug ring, escaping custody twice, and getting violent. Now, he's on the run, and we have new clues to help catch him.
Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. After David Carter went missing, everyone had questions for Tamera Williams, but she wasn't answering them.
Days go by with no sign of David, and then we get this news report out of Ohio.
Routine grass cutting along Interstate 75 led to the discovery of human remains.
90 miles south of Detroit, a crew cutting the grass makes this gruesome discovery of bags and body parts strewn along the highway. Melvindale police contact Ohio State Patrol after they see this law enforcement bulletin with information about what they found.
They send the human remains out for DNA testing.
The DNA comes back. It's determined that these are the remains of David Carter.
When they told me it was David, it shattered me.
At this point, Tamera is definitely a person of interest. Police start searching for Tamera Williams. They receive a tip that she's at a friend's house, so they set up surveillance and actually are able to get her when she's walking to her car. Tamera Williams denies any involvement in the disappearance of David Carter. Police have confirmed the remains of David's body, but they're missing one piece of very crucial evidence. They still don't have his head. They need his head to determine the cause of death. They also don't have a murder weapon. At this point, they only have circumstantial evidence.
During a break in the interrogation, Tamera is placed in a temporary holding cell while police check on her alibi.
It's believed she fakes this seizure to somehow try and get out of being charged.
She was immediately transported to a local hospital.
The prosecutor doesn't believe there's enough evidence to charge Tamera Williams. So she checks herself out and disappears. Eventually, David's head is recovered and they're able to determine the cause of death, that he's been shot in the head. Then they know for sure it's a homicide. It's believed Tamera planned all this. She did this in cold blood. The next day, she dismembers the body and dumps the remains along I-75.
In October of 2018, Tamera Williams boarded a train bound for New York. She stayed in a hotel called the Neptune Hotel. The next morning, she walked out and was never seen again.
My family has been devastated by this.
My brother didn't deserve this. I want to see her turned in and justice for my family.
So even though she was caught on security cameras 6 months ago, Tamera has not left any kind of digital trail in the last 2.5 years. Joining us now in the studio is David Carter's sister, Tasia, her husband, Derek, and U.S. Marshal Andrew Battersby, who's been on this case. Tasia, what made you suspect her from the start?
For someone that had been with my brother every day, didn't go anywhere without my brother for 6 months, for her not to come around when he's missing, that I knew something was wrong.
Derek, did you share those suspicions?
Oh, definitely. It was the same feelings that she had for a person to be around David at family meetings and gatherings all the time, and then when he comes up missing, she's nowhere around, so.
We keep hearing how possessive she was. You both saw that a lot?
A lot. He would make comments saying, like, let me go back to the party before my tether go off, you know, because he knew that she wouldn't be too far behind coming to check to see what he was doing.
How has the family been? How have you guys managed to get through this?
We have always been a strong family, and we have got through this together. Before my mom passed last year, she prayed and prayed for justice.
Well, even though she didn't live to see justice, you're still working every day?
Every day. I always said that the whole world would know my brother's name, and we would get justice for him.
Marshal Battersby, you consider Tamera Williams to be a dangerous fugitive.
Extremely dangerous.
Why?
I believe she'll do it again in the right opportunity.
Really?
Yes.
It's unusual for women to commit crimes like this.
Really unusual. But I think she's the type that would do it. She's very possessive, and I believe there's probably a male helping her right now that has no idea what she's done.
We know that she hasn't left a digital trail under the name Tamera Williams. Is there an alias she might be using?
While in the Bronx, she did use a credit card.
At that fish market?
At the fish market, as a LaToya Williams.
LaToya Williams, so she might be going under that name.
Yes.
And what is your gut instinct, your detective instinct telling you about where she might be right now?
My gut feel has always been the same, that I believe she's in the New York area, in the Bronx, and somebody is helping her.
Do you think you're gonna catch her?
Absolutely, 100%. I believe she will make a mistake and we'll be there to get her.
Tasia, what would you say to Tamera if you were watching the show right now?
Tammy, you know me, and you know my family, and you know that we're not gonna rest until David's murderer is brought to justice.
Tasia, Derek, I'm so sorry to meet you both under these circumstances. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Again, if you have seen Tamera Williams in the last few years in Michigan, Chicago, Atlanta, or New York City, you can help us bring justice to David Carter and his family. There's no time to waste. Contact us now. You can go to our website at amwtips.com or call us at 1-833-3-AMW-TIPS. And you can always choose to remain anonymous.
Just ahead, one of the most infamous criminals ever profiled on America's Most Wanted, shooting his way out of a bowling alley to escape the law. 40 years later, we have new information. And later, a banker gets greedy, targeting innocent families, accused of stealing millions from their life savings before abandoning his own family for a life on the run. You can help us find him.
Welcome back. On the last America's Most Wanted, we profiled murderer Glenn Godwin, who hasn't been seen since he last broke out of prison in 1991. Viewer Jake Sundahl tweeted, "This Godwin guy's been on the lam for the last 30 years. Hopefully, tonight will be the beginning of the end of his freedom." 30 years is a long time, and that's why right now is a better time than ever to catch these criminals. But we can't do it without you, so keep sending us your tips. In our next case, this won't be the first time he's been featured on America's Most Wanted, but we certainly hope it'll be the last.
It was like my life was in slow motion. I was very afraid I was going to die.
My name is Larry Porter Chism. I've already killed 2 people. One more won't make any difference, will it?
So how did this studious, unassuming young man studying law turn into a devious, audacious criminal.
Larry Chism was the last guy that you would expect to be a hardened criminal. He was a nerdy, intelligent 26-year-old weeks away from getting his law degree.
Larry Chism was a really smart guy, but he had an alter ego.
Between classes, he was organizing a drug ring using teenagers to smuggle heroin from Mexico. In 1974, he was arrested for armed robbery and smuggling heroin and sentenced to 40 years in prison. While Chism was in Turney Prison, he was a model inmate. He mediated disagreements between guards and inmates and was the editor of the prison newspaper. Chism maintained this quiet, unassuming identity, but kept in contact with the outside world. He started thinking of ways to get out. To reward his and some of the other inmates' good behavior, the prison planned an outing at the local bowling alley.
Chism was a criminal mastermind. He always was figuring ahead.
He had a friend go there ahead of time and stash guns and ammo in the bathroom.
I noticed there was something going on in the bathroom area. So I peeked around the door. When I did, Chism was standing there with a shotgun. He was in the process of loading it. Just as I turned to fire at him, he fired at me first. When it hit me, it felt like just a gush of hot air. When I come back to myself, I looked down, I had my weapon. Well, I started shooting. I shot him in the hand, but it didn't take him down.
Meanwhile, an 18-year-old woman was crouched down, hiding in the snack bar.
I was on the floor behind the counter when Larry Chism pointed his gun at me. He and 3 other inmates stole some car keys.
Let me get the car.
Larry Chism told me to come with him.
Get up! Hey, stay back!
He dragged me out, led me out the door, and put me in the car. The escapee started shooting. The guards realized that they had a hostage, so they did not return fire. It was chaos. The whole time, my thoughts were that they were going to kill me. And I can remember at one point thinking, I wish they would just go ahead and do it. But eventually they decided to let me go. And they left town.
If you were in the Nashville or Dixon, Tennessee areas in the fall of 1978 and may have seen something or seen Larry Chism at any point since then, please contact us. We want to hear from you. No clue is too small. Yodit Tewolde is back, and we're going to bring in our AMW criminal avatar with age progression to show us what Larry Chism would look like today.
Okay.
So, what are we looking at?
So we're looking at a guy who's now 72 years old, and he was last reported weighing in around 160 pounds, right, at 5'10". Now, we know that his right hand was shot during that escape at that bowling alley. So he still may have a scar, a mark of some kind on that hand, and he may have actually lost a part of his thumb as well.
You can see that on the avatar. The tip of his thumb is missing.
Right, looks like a nub, right?
Right.
Right. All right, well, the cool feature about these avatars is that we can actually show our viewers what Larry Chism would look like without the glasses, without the mustache, because he could completely change.
Wow. The mustache especially really changes his face. We know he always wore glasses, but he could have gotten contacts or LASIK surgery and will no longer be wearing them. We also know that he's got the ability to really ingratiate himself. Like he was able to convince prison authorities to give him the bowling alley field trip where the escape happened. What does this tell us about his MO on the run?
This guy's clever. He's smart, right? I mean, he was in his 3rd year of law school and was still able to run a drug ring at the same time. He's quiet, he's unassuming, he, keeps a low profile on the inside. And so anybody that can do that in a high stressful place like prison that's heavily surveilled most certainly knows how to fly under the radar on the outside as well. So this guy's really, really clever.
All right, thanks so much, Yodit. And send us your tips by calling us at 1-833-3-AMW-TIPS or go to our website. Now, you are watching a gas station robbery in progress in the Bronx, New York. Pay close attention to the suspect's hands. You can see black gloves and what looks like a weapon. The NYPD says the robber might be pretending he has a gun, pointing his fingers at the cashier. After making demands, he tries to climb over the counter but stumbles over a wine rack. Then he struggles with the female employee. The suspect got away with about $1,000 cash. Were you at this gas station when it happened? Did you see anything? This is the Citgo station at the corner of Broadway and 260th Street in the Bronx. Look out for someone who's about 30 years old, 5'11", wearing a black jacket with fur, blue jeans, and black and yellow sneakers. You can help take the suspect off the streets. If you recognize him or saw anything in the area, send us your tips. 1-833-3-AMW-TIPS or amwtips.com.
After the break, Larry Chism has pulled off a daring escape from prison. And now he's about to outsmart everyone again. But AMW has new information that could land him back where he belongs, behind bars. And later, police say this financial advisor stole millions. Now he's on the loose, living large. You can help take him down.
Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. After our last episode aired, we got many tips from you at home. Keep them coming, because there's no time to waste. Even the smallest tips could help. As it stands right now, America's Most Wanted catch counter is at 1,186 fugitives. And with your help, it just might go up tonight. Not only do we thank you, but investigators across the country thank you. And the victims of these crimes thank you. Because it's your tips that make the difference. Go to amwtips.com or 1-833-3-AMW-TIPS. You can always choose to remain anonymous. All right, back to Larry Chism, who pulled off a daring plan to escape during a prison outing at a local bowling alley, shooting one officer and taking a hostage as he fled the scene. But his story isn't over.
Larry Chism escaped. In a shootout with correctional officers, Chism, along with 3 other inmates, grabbed one of the employees as a hostage. And they made their escape. A few days later, Chism turned up in Arkansas.
I was on patrol that day, and I heard over the radio there was a stolen truck. I flipped on the siren, then started chasing him. Chism wrecked the truck. There wasn't a whole lot given to us over the radio, so didn't know how dangerous he was.
Chism was taken back into custody.
After only a few months in the Lone Oak County Jail in Arkansas, Chism came up with yet another escape plan.
He had another inmate crawl through the air vent, steal the guard's keys, and let him out. They overpowered the guard, stole his car keys, and drove off. A month after he escaped, he surfaced in Cincinnati, Ohio, and his crime spree continued. He walked into the First National Bank, posed as a U.S. Treasury official, showed the president what he claimed was a bomb, and demanded $250,000. He walked out and just disappeared. From there, we know that Chism spent years moving around parts of the Gulf Coast. He lived in Mobile, Alabama with a girlfriend, New Orleans, and in 1990, a tip led the FBI to a house in Charlotte, North Carolina.
By the time agents arrived at the house, it was abandoned.
It was clear Chism took off in a hurry. He left behind all kinds of clues on how he was managing to hide from authorities. He had laminating machines, books and magazines on things like how to change identity and appearance.
He also left a pay stub in the name of Kenneth Brookins, one of dozens of aliases that he was known to go by.
We know that in December of 1990, he sold his van in Atlanta, and there's been no sign of him since. Larry Chism is still out there.
He should not be allowed to be free. He had no regard for anybody else's life.
I feel confident there's some people that knows him, they know where he's at. I wish they would turn him in.
I can make 1,000 mistakes. I just need Larry Chism to make that one.
Since his second escape from jail, Larry Chism has gone undetected by authorities for more than 40 years. That is a lot of time, and there are a lot of you out there who could have come into contact with him. If Larry Chism looks familiar to you, please get in touch with us. Let's check in now with Paul Holes, who helped catch the Golden State Killer. There are a lot of places that Chism has been, a lot of anchor points.
That's right, and his strongest anchor point is in Arkansas. That is where he is born and raised. He likely still has family and friends there today. From Arkansas, he moves down to New Orleans. He actually gets into a relationship with a woman there. He's taking odd jobs in construction as he follows a friend from New Orleans up to Mobile, Alabama. From there, he relocates to Charlotte, North Carolina, gets into another relationship with a woman and her kids. He establishes a life. After a couple years, the whole family, including Chism, flees. He is next spotted down in Atlanta in 1990, and that's when he sells that van. He clearly has a preference for the southeastern part of the United States.
I'm struck, though, Paul, as you talk about all these anchor points, all the significant relationships that Larry Chism has established in all these various cities. Some of those relationships are no longer existing, correct?
That's right. Larry's moved on, but those people will still remember him today.
And those people could recognize him and call in. All right, it's very important for you at home to know that Chism is wanted for armed robbery, narcotics violations, and kidnapping, along with shooting and wounding a corrections officer. Contact us at America's Most Wanted at amwtips.com or 1-833-3-AMW-TIPS immediately. And contact us if you have any information on this next dangerous suspect. In this crime alert, watch these three landscapers hard at work in uptown New Orleans on the 400 block of Eleanor Street. But here comes trouble. Look at the white SUV on the right of your screen. Two men armed with guns jump out and rob the landscapers. Watch. The suspect in the blue hoodie points the gun at the victim's chest, literally reaches into the victim's pockets to get his cash, then heads to the truck to take another victim's wallet. The whole crime takes about 30 seconds. We do have some clues to catch them. Keep an eye out for these two suspects, one in a dark blue hoodie, the other in a yellow hoodie. The New Orleans Police Department says they drove off in this white Honda CR-V with temporary tags. Take a close look at this car. Were you in the area? Did you see it racing away? They need your help before the suspects strike again. Send us your tips by calling us at 1-833-3-AMW-TIPS or amwtips.com.
Up next, a financial advisor goes rogue. He was supposed to be making money for his clients, but instead, police say he stole it all, millions, draining their life savings, even abandoning his own family to live large on the run. He's still out there, and we need your help to find him. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We've got another fugitive to add to our growing list. Christopher Burns, an investment advisor who was well known in the financial community, even making appearances on television to discuss his investment strategy. But allegedly, he had been stealing from his clients who trusted him, and now he's gone. But you can help us find him tonight.
Chris was really smart. He seemed to be incredibly caring. I always thought, this is a really humble guy.
You know, he walked into a room and you noticed him. He was very friendly. He was very open. He appeared to be very knowledgeable and very trustworthy.
He operated as a financial advisor here in the Atlanta metro area. He also had a local radio show.
You have so much less anxiety while everybody else is trying to figure out what to do.
And he also appeared on national broadcasts.
This economy and this market have proven resilient time and time again.
We gave our trust to Chris for some of our investments. It was the money that I said was the can't lose money because we have an autistic son. We wanted it invested for his future.
He used this money from investors to pay personal expenses. He lived in a $1 million house on a lake. He had a boat, cars.
During that time, he came to me and said, I'm $100,000 in debt. Also, I haven't done my taxes in 2 years, and I had no idea.
Burns defrauded dozens of victims, totaling over $10 million. Some of the victims lost the inheritance, their savings, and all that they had.
I lost about $134,000. I thought it was well secured.
Chris defrauded so many people. I found out he had taken $150,000 from his parents. He has ruined their future. The last time I saw Chris, I was done. He said he was gonna be back to see the kids. I called his phone twice and it just went straight to voicemail. I called his parents and they said, we haven't talked to Chris in weeks. And it was just in that moment, you know, that I just knew something was really wrong. So I called the police.
Mr. Burns had plenty of time to figure out what he was going to do when he disappeared. Burns is approximately 6'2", 240 pounds with brown hair. He also has tattoos on his forearm, 3 triangles that are interlaced.
If he can pull one over on me, he can pull one over on anyone. And that's a scary thought.
If I could send a message to Chris right now, I would say save a lot of people the pain, especially your children. These are good people. They're not millionaires. I just don't understand how you can do that to people.
Christopher Burns is very charismatic and confident, which helped him deceive a lot of people. You could be next. Contact us immediately if you have a tip about Chris Burns. And Paul is back. And Paul, this guy is accused of stealing millions and millions of dollars. How does he live on and use that money while on the run?
Well, he likely has been skimming money for years and not necessarily planning his escape, but to hide assets. And so he has the criminal sophistication to set up fake accounts in which he's got money moved into and probably has a sizable reservoir of cash that he can access.
Since money may be no object, we know that he could be just about anywhere. Let's go to the Fugitive tracker and look at his anchor points first off.
Right. Well, 2 anchor points, of course, Berkeley Lake, Georgia, where he was living, as well as his parents up in North Carolina. Now, after he disappears, his car is found abandoned in an apartment parking lot in Dunwoody, Georgia. He didn't just randomly choose that location. He is a planner. He could have staged a car that he purchased with a fake ID and with cash.
It's a strange place to just abandon a car, but we also have another new anchor point out west.
That's right. His now ex-wife found out after he disappeared that he had been going to Las Vegas once a month for years. She now suspects that he was having an affair out there. Now, that relationship could be a lure for him, But where better for somebody with his financial criminal background to go?
Right. You could launder the money by buying casino chips. It's not unusual to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in a safe deposit box in Las Vegas. That happens.
That's right, and all those people he could con out there.
All right, Paul, thank you so much. And if you live near Las Vegas or have visited the Vegas area since October, let us know if you've seen Chris Burns. Remember, he has a distinctive tattoo of 3 triangles on his left forearm. So send us your tips. Specific identifying features like these are so important to finding these guys. One of our viewers tweeted about that very thing on last week's show. The avatar of Eugene Palmer really helped represent the deformed thumb to help identify him for capture. Keep your eyes peeled.
Coming up, these thieves are hitting it big, stealing lottery scratch-offs from several gas stations in Memphis. Can you identify these lucky suspects?
Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. In Tennessee, police are searching for brazen lottery ticket thieves who are targeting gas stations in the Hedge Hills neighborhood of Memphis. Watch these 2 men boldly snatch the scratcher boxes from the counter at the Hop-In convenience store at Summer and Graham on the evening of January 10th. They casually head for their getaway car, a burgundy Nissan. Can you believe these guys? And in the next video, these robbers must be feeling lucky because you can see 2 men entering another Hop-In at Union and Cleveland around 5 p.m. on January 21st, where they steal boxes of lottery tickets and run off. Here's a look at the suspects in that case. They're both wearing blue shirts. They got away in a white minivan. Help the Memphis police hit the big one and get these guys. Here's another look at the suspects. Do you know who they are? Send us your tips at 1-8333-AMW-TIPS or amwtips.com. All right, let's take one last look at the fugitives who are still at large from the cases we featured tonight. Tamera Williams, police suspect she murdered her boyfriend, dismembered his body, and then scattered it along an Ohio interstate. She's now 42 years old. She has a large rose tattoo on her left arm that goes up to her shoulder. She was last suspected to be in the Bronx, New York. Crime Stoppers is offering $5,000 for information that leads to her arrest. Larry Chism, on his second AMW appearance, is still on the run as one of the U.S. Marshals most wanted. Quiet and unassuming, Chism is now 72 and is known to have several aliases. He was last seen in Atlanta in 1990. The U.S. Marshals are offering a reward of up to $25,000 for information that leads to his arrest. And Christopher Burns, 38 years old, he's allegedly stolen millions of dollars in life savings from his victims. He may or may not currently have a beard and has a distinguishing tattoo on his left forearm of 3 black interlaced triangles. Send us your tips at 1-833-3-AMW-TIPS or at our website, amwtips.com. Coming up next week on America's Most Wanted, this couple ran a successful boating business until one of their passengers on a family vacation died on a boat that officials say was too dangerous to be at sea.
Once the boat began to go down, it was on the bottom in under a minute.
The 2 were charged with manslaughter, but they fled sailing into the sunset and have been on the run ever since. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Let's catch these fugitives.